Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Morning Stir with Yolanda Worldwide. This is a premiere because I am traveling. So this is not somewhat, it is a pre-recording, but it is a premiere. But I hope you'll stick around. If you're watching this premiere as a replay, go ahead and give me a hashtag replay in the comments. If you're brand new, make sure you go ahead right now and click on that subscribe button and enable the notifications by clicking on the little bell. I'm incredibly blessed for those of you who are showing up for the premiere. You know how we do it, and I'm so glad you're here. Number one, go ahead and greet me in whatever way you do in your part of the world. Number two, let me know where in the world you are joining in from. Number three, click on the little thumbs up on the screen. Number four, help me to share this broadcast. And number five, if you are, go ahead and let me know in the comments. I'm stirred up. I'm stirred up. I'm stirred up. I am just so incredibly blessed that you are here. This is going to be a shortened version of Morning Stir because I am traveling, getting ready for a prophetic catapult, Virginia, happening tonight. By the time you watch this, or depending on when you watch it, it should be happening tonight. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and jump in. I'll only be praying in the spirit for 5 minutes today. And whenever I do the premiere, we shorten it down to 5 minutes. And then I'm going to get into reading the word. And we are reading in the book of Isaiah. So if you will, go ahead and join with me and let's begin to pray in the Holy Ghost. Rakatamandi ele bako de kere bata, rande ki ele bakore kere bata, yada bakore kere bataya, randi ele bako de kere bata, rakatamandi ele bako te kele bata, rekete yala bakore kere bata, rakatamandi ele bako te kele bata, rekete yala bakore kere bata. Rande roko shata namaka rekete rakatamandi elebako de kedebata rakatamandi elebako de kedebata rekete maka rakata randi elebako de kedebata rekete mandi elebako de kedebata rakatamandi elebako de kedebataya rekete maka rakatamande rekete maka rakata yandi elebako de kedebata rekete elebako de kedebata randi elebako de kedebata Yarabakore kerebata, Rande kielebakare kereha, Randi elebako de kerebata, Rekete mandi elebako de kerebata. Rakata, Rakatamandi elebako de kerebata, Rekete elebako de kerebata, Randi elebako de kerebata, Yadabako de kerebata, Rekete elebako de kerebata, Rakatamandi elebako de kerebata, Yedebako de kerebata, Randi elebako de kerebata, Yedebako de kerebata, Rande ki elebako de kerebata, Yedebako de kerebata, Rakatamandi elebako de kerebata, Yadabako de kerebata, Rakatamandi elebakote kelebata, rekete elebakore kelebata, Rakatamandi elebakode kelebata. Rakataya, rekete yalabakore kerebata, randi elebakote kerebata, yadabakore kerebataya, rakatamandi elebakode kerebata, yadabakore kerebata, rakatamandi elebakode kerebata, yadabakore kerebata, rakatamandi elebakode kerebata, yadabakore kerebataya, rekete yalabakore kerebata, randi elebakode kerebata, rakatamandi elebakote kerebata, Rakatamande ki elebako te kerebata, yedebakore kerebataya, Rakatamandi elebako de kerebata, yedebakore kerebataya, Rakatamandi elebako de kerebata, yedebakore kerebataya, Rakatamandi elebako de kerebataya, Reketemandi elebako de kerebata, Rakatamandi elebako de kerebata, yedebakore kerebataya, Rakatamandi elebako de kerebata. Yadabakore kedebata, Rakatamandi elebako de kedebata, Rekete elebakore kedebata, Rekete elebakore kedebata, Rakatamandi elebako de kedebata, Yedebakore kedebataya, Rakatamandi elebako de kedebata, Yedebakore kedebata, Rakatamandi elebako de kedebata, Yedebakore kedebataya, Rakatamande ki elebako de kedebata, Rakatamandi elebako de kedebata, Rakatamandi Mande ki yele bakode kede bata. Yede bakode kede bataya. Rakatamaka rakata. Yandi yele bakode kede bata. Rekete yele bakode kede bataya. Rakatamandi yele bakode kede bata. Rekete yele bakode kede bata. Rakata yele bakode kede bataya. Rakatamandi yele bakode kede bata. Yerebakore kede bataya, rakatamandi elebakode kede bata, rekete yelebakore kede bata, yedebakore kede bataya, rakata yelebakore kede bata, yedebakore kede bataya, rekete yelebakore kede bataya, rakatamandi elebakote kede bata, rekete yelebakore kede bata, rakatamandi elebakode kede bata, rekete yelebakore kede bata, rakatamandi elebakode kede bata, rekete yelebakore bata, rakatamandi elebako de kedebata, yedebako de kedebata, rakatamandi elebako de kedebata, rekete yelebako de kedebata, randi elebako de kedebataya, rakatamandi edebako de kedebata. Yadabakore kede bataya, rakatamandi ele bakote kele bata, rekete ele bakore kede bata, rakatamandi ele bakode kede bata, yadabakore kede bata, rekete ele bakore kede bata, randi ele bakode kede bata, yadabakore kede bataya, rakatamandi ele bakode kede bata, rekete ele bakore kede bata, randi ele bakode kede bata, yadabakore kede bata, rakatamandi ele bakote kele bata, rekete yele bakore kede bataya, rakatamandi yele bakote kele bata, yede bakore kede bataya, rakatamandi yele bakote kele bata, rekete yele bakore kede bata, yede bakore kede bata, randi yele bakote kele bata, rakatamandi yele bakote kele bata, yede bakore kede bata, rakatamandi yele bakote kele bataya, rakatamandi yele bakote kele bata, yede bakore kede bataya, rakatamandi ia bakote kele bata, yede bakore kede bataya, rakatamande ki yele bako, rekete yele bata, yatamandi yele bako de kede bata, rekete mandi ikerete te, rakatamande ki yele bako te kede bataya. Glory to your name, God. You're so worthy, you're so worthy, you're so worthy to be praised. You're so worthy, you're so worthy, you're so worthy to be praised. Woo, you're so worthy, you're so worthy to be praised. My God, I'm living off of the word whirlwind. I was on a live broadcast with my brother, Apostle Jordan, and we're getting ready for a prophetic catapult, Virginia, that is going to be at his church. And he heard whirlwind. And I feel like God is coming like that. Shatamandi elebakoda kedebataya. I feel like we're going to be swept up. That's going to be like we're swept up with God. And I've been experiencing this for the last several months, but I feel like the wind is brewing and even going even stronger. Get ready for a whirlwind of blessings, a whirlwind of favor, a whirlwind of joy, a whirlwind of peace, a whirlwind of love, a whirlwind of finances, a whirlwind of spiritual gifts, the flowing of spiritual gifts, a whirlwind. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. It's coming. It's already here. We're stepping into it. Get ready. Get ready. I want to dive straightway in so that I can get through as much of this as I can. Starting, we're in Isaiah chapter 19, and I'm going to begin reading there, and I'll read as much as I can today, and then we'll pick back up again on Monday. Well, actually, make sure you're with me for a prophetic catapult. If you watched this before, make sure you're with me for a prophetic catapult, Virginia, November 22nd and November 23rd. So Friday and Saturday. On Saturday, I'll be doing Morning Stir in person at Nova Hub for a prophetic catapult, Virginia. So Isaiah chapter 19, let's start there. A message about Egypt. The Eternal One will come winging into Egypt on a swiftly moving cloud, my God, making her idols quake. That sounds like a whirlwind. The Egyptians themselves will lose heart in the face of God. The Lord, the eternal commander of heavenly armies, says, I will subject the Egyptians to oppressive forces and heartless leadership of a dictator king. I will make them turn against each other, Egyptian against Egyptian, a civil war, right down to the houses within a neighborhood, city against city, district against district. They'll lose all courage and I'll frustrate their plans. They'll seek the advice of long dead ancestors and empty idols, mediums and fortune tellers, but it is I who determine their fate. That song's like, what's going on today? Egypt's waterways and everything that lives in them will dry up and die. Salt water and fresh, standing pools and running streams will all evaporate. All the reeds and rushes along the river's edge will wither and die and not and rot away. All the crops sown by the Nile will turn brittle and dry, to be blown away, completely away by sultry winds. Fishermen who set their lines and cast their nets into the Nile will languish and mourn. Weavers who comb flax into spinning fibers and produce linen will be deep in despair. The solid citizens of Egypt will be crushed, and all who work hard for a day's wage will be deeply distressed. The leaders of Zone are fools, and those who count themselves among the Pharaoh's smartest counselors base their advice on bizarre flights of fancy. How can you tell Pharaoh, I am among the long line of Egypt's wise and an heir of ancient kings? I certainly don't see any such sages. If they're here, they should be able to tell you what the Eternal One, commander of heavenly armies, has in store for Egypt. The elite, the nobles from the northern Delta South to bustling Memphis have been overconfident, deluded fools. These cornerstones of society have led Egypt in the wrong direction, and Egypt pays the price. The Eternal has mixed them up and confuse them. God has frustrated Egypt's efforts in everything, weaving and sick like an everyday drunk. There will be nothing left to Egypt to do. Nobody will head, no tail. No noble palm, no lowly reed will be able to help Egypt. Then, in that day, when the eternal commander of heavenly armies raises his hand and displays his power, the Egyptians will cower like frightened women. Egypt will even be terrified of our little Judah. Just the word Judah will set everyone trembling and shaking because of what the eternal commander of heavenly armies plans to do against them. In that day, 5 cities in Egypt, one of which is called the city of destruction, will adopt the language we speak in Canaan and swear to remain faithful to the eternal commander of heavenly armies. When that day arrives, there will be an altar for rituals marking the eternal sacred space right there in the middle of Egypt, and a pillar erected to him at its border. These will serve to notify everyone that the eternal commander of heavenly armies is present. God can and will be in Egypt. And if things get bad for them, the eternal will respond to their cries for help by sending someone, a liberator and defender, to deliver them from their oppressors. The eternal will make sure the Egyptians know him. They will know and worship him with gifts and praise, solemn promises and offerings. After all, God's disciplining action, the eternal will take them back with gentle care. After his punishment, There will be healing. The Egyptians will turn to him, and he will hear and heal them. When that day arrives, there will be a road connecting Egypt to Assyria, and people of both nations will travel it to worship together side by side. Our land of Israel, through which that road travels, will then be allied with their other great nations, and Israel will be a whole earth blessing, the hub of proper worship. The eternal commander of heavenly armies declares such blessing. Egypt too shall be blessed and called my people, and Assyria my doing, because I made it Israel, of course, is simply mine. Now, as before, and as ever will be my heritage. Chapter 20. In the same year that the Assyrian field marshal sent by Sargon II, who was king in Assyria at that time, attacked and successfully defeated Ashdod, Isaiah, Amoz's son, was told by the Eternal to deliver a message by acting it out. Take off all your clothes of mourning and take off your shoes too. Of course, Isaiah did that, which left him utterly naked, head to toe. The Eternal One said, my servant Isaiah has walked around naked and barefoot for 3 years as a sign that Egypt and Ethiopia will be stripped of everything. Assyria will take away Egypt's captives and Ethiopia's exiles, young and old alike, naked and barefoot as slaves. The Egyptians' shameful impotence and their bare behinds will be on display for all to see as they are driven away by the Assyrians. They will be mortified and humiliated, for they depended on each other, confident that Egypt and Ethiopia could withstand Assyrian assault. In the face of it, people along the coastland, like Ashdod, will say, if countries like those that we counted on for support and security are falling apart to the might of Assyria's king, we don't have a chance. Chapter 21, a message about the sea of wilderness in Babylon. From the desert, from a frightening land, it comes like raging tempest, a sandstorm in the Negev. A vision most harsh came to me. The deceiver deceives and the abuser abuses. Get up and go, Elam and Media. Cut off supplies. All groaning will cease. I've put an end to the sounds of misery. My stomach sinks, my gut churns with pain. As a woman in labor wrenches and writhes, I can hardly bear the news. I cannot hear because I'm bent over with agony. I cannot see because I'm deep in the fog of depression. My heart skips a beat. My mind is buzzing, terribly unsettled. Horror and trembling rattle and serenity of the evening I long for. Meanwhile, the ones who are in charge are spreading out a feast, eating and drinking just like normal. I want to say to them, get up, officers, oil your shields and be prepared, because the Eternal has told me, get in someone to keep an eye on things. Have him report whatever he sees. Tell him to watch closely for riders on teams of horses, donkeys, and camels. If he sees them, put him on full alert. The sentinel said, I stand guard at the watchtower, Lord, day after day. I never leave my post during the night. Look, they're coming just as you said, a chariot driver and a team of horses. The driver tells me Babylon is fallen. Our oppressor has fallen, and all their idols, worthless impostors of the one true God, are shattered on the ground. Oh, my people who have been threshed and winnowed like wheat, I am telling you what the eternal commander of heavenly armies, Israel's God, said. A message about Duma. Someone is calling me from Seir. The Edomite says to the sentinel, how much remains are of this night? How long until morning? The sentinel says, morning is coming, you can be sure of it, but night will quickly follow. If you want to know, then check back later. A message about Arabia. Spend the night in the forests of Arabia. off the beaten path, O caravans from Dedan. Hey, people of Tema, bring them supplies, water for the thirsty, and food for the refugees. They're on the run, refugees tired of war, trying to escape the edge of the sword, the bent bow, and the imminent threat of battle. The Eternal One says to Isaiah, within a year, as a hired hand might count it, Kedar will be finished. All that made it so impressive will crumble. As for its archers and mighty warriors, they will all but disappear. It will happen because the Eternal, the God of Israel, said so. Chapter 22. A message about the valley of vision. What in the world is wrong with you? Why have you climbed on your housetops and started celebrating? What noise? The whole city is in an uproar. Don't you realize that your fallen comrades didn't actually die fighting, that your leaders turned tail together and ran only to be captured without a fight? Without even drawing their weapons, the rest of you tried to run far away, but were still captured. This is why I said, just leave me alone. Let me weep bitterly over this travesty. Don't tell me it's not that bad or that everything will be all right. We're talking about the destruction of my cherished people. The Lord, the eternal commander of heavenly armies, determined that this would be the time for destruction, smashing and crashing, wreaking havoc and chaos in the valley of vision, battering down walls and crying out to the mountains. You've tried, but how could you hold off Elam's skilled archers with chariots and horsemen and Kir's soldiers' shields held high? The invaders' chariots overran your pristine valleys, and their horsemen made their stand at the city gates. But God simply did away with Judah's defenses. In that day, you put your trust in weapons stored in the armory. You began to fix the many breaks in the walls of the city of David. You stocked up on water from the lower pool. You took stock of the houses in Jerusalem and began to dismantle them stone by stone to shore up the city wall. You built a reservoir between two walls to hold the water of the old pool. But in all this, you neglected the one who could really save you. You failed to consider the one who actually made this place and established it so long ago. Consequently, the Lord, the eternal commander of heavenly armies, determined that day would be a time of weeping and regret, a time of shaved heads and donning sackcloth, and a time of mourning. Yet you missed the point and made merry, slaughtering cattle and sheep for a giant celebration, eating and drinking your fill of wine. The people said to each other, eat up, drink up, for tomorrow we die. The Eternal One said to Isaiah, this sin will not be forgiven. It will stay with you until your dying day. That's what the Lord, the eternal commander of heavenly armies, said. Come on, go to Shebna, the caretaker of the royal household, and confront him, saying, why are you here anyway? Do you really belong here? What right do you have to build yourself an elegant tomb and stone monument here out of the rock on this hill? Look, strong man, the Eternal is about to throw you out wildly, violently, with a firm grasp. He will crush you like a ball, hurl you deep into a land far, far away where you go to die. You will be known as the shame of your master's house, and your splendid chariots will lie empty. I will see to it that you're driven from your post, toppled from your position, with all the disgrace and shame that you deserve. When that day comes, I will summon my faithful servant. Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, will be called to take over and assume your authority and office. I will clothe him in your royal robes and fasten your sash securely around him. He will be a father to the people. He will have authority over Jerusalem and Judah. I will grant him the key to David's royal house, and no one can shut what he opens, and no one can open what he shuts. I will attach him securely like the peg to that house, and he will bring honor to his father, and he will bring honor to his father and his family. Oh, on him will hang all the riches, all the honor of his family's future. On the appointed day, the peg that was attached so securely to that house when will become weak, break off, and fall to the ground, and everything that had been hung on it will fall down and shatter. The Eternal One, Commander of heavenly armies, has declared it to be so. We're going to stop right there for today at Isaiah 22. We'll pick back up at 23. I'll see what the Lord says about what we're going to read for Morning Stir at a prophetic catapult this weekend. If you watch this before prophetic catapult this weekend, I want you to go ahead and just register, get in the room if you are in the DMV area. Catapultva.eventbrite.com, catapultva.eventbrite.com. And I want to see you in the building. Make sure you watch us on live. We are going to be streaming. And so we are incredibly excited that we get to do this with you. And so I will see you in the room, and then I'll see you again on Monday morning where we picking up where we left off. Blessings. Have an amazing day.